Welcome, everyone. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are all ready to go tonight from the Office Depot Center to take on the Western Conference All-Stars. Bill Peterson and Mike Weiss bringing you complete play-by-play and color commentary.
Things usually don't get better than this. I talked to a few players today, and they're really up for this game tonight. I know I'm up for it, so let's go.
Your Western Conference All-Stars. At center, number 19, Joe Sakic. At left wing, number 9, Paul Kariya. At right wing, number 12, Jerome Iginla. On defense, number 4, Rob Blake. And number 44, Chris Pronger. And in goal, number 33, Patrick Waugh. Your Eastern Conference All-Stars. At center, number 66, Mario Lemieux. At left wing, number 26, Patrick Elias. At right wing, number 68, Jaromir Jagr. On defense, number 55, Sergei Gonchar. And in goal, number 60, Jose Theodore.
Here we go with the first drop of the puck. Lemieux passes it to Elias. Pronger brings the puck up. Jagr sends it over to the right wing. Elias sends it out to Lemieux. He made a great save. Pronger makes a long pass to Iginla. And he takes a wrist shot. Leach moves it to Jagr. And he takes a wrist shot. Denied. Theodore loves that shot out of the air. Blake passes it off over to Pronger. Iginla brings it over the blue line. He sends the puck back to Kariya. Lemieux takes the puck up. Jagr sends it up to the center. And he takes a wrist shot. Those saves are great warm-ups for the regular season. Blake makes a long pass over to Iginla. Sends it over to Sakic. He gets knocked off the puck with a check by Leach. Lindros brings it over the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Save made off the blocker. Yashin plays it up to the center. Ozolinsh takes the puck up through the zone. Passes it to the right wing. Bure sends it to Lindros. Zhebnov sends it to Solani. Carries it over the blue line. Bure brings it past the red line. Yashin sends it back over to Ozolinsh. Lidstrom passes it over to Solani.
Ozolinsh plays an aggressive style of hockey. By being aggressive, he can create scoring chances for his team.
Zhebnov passes over to Naslund. And he takes a wrist shot. That save shows he came into camp ready to play this season. Lemieux brings the puck up through the zone. And he takes a wrist shot. Man, what a save. Waugh passes it over to Blake. He passes it to Zhebnov.
Get all the
Play
information
stops
you need
as he
on the
covers
NHL
the
and
puck.
other teams with the NHL record book, packed full of the most up-to-date statistics.
Yager
and a
can only
complete
shake
index
his
of
head
current
after getting his
players.
sure
The
goal
NHL
taken away
record book
by
is
Waugh.
a treasure for any hockey fan. Copies are available at any souvenir kiosk.
This faceoff is left of the goalie. McInnes slides it over to Shanahan. Daze carries it past the red line. He passes it to the left wing. Shanahan sends it off to McInnes. Gonchar passes over to Sundin. Takes it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. He must have puck magnets in that glove. McInnes brings the puck through the zone. Daze centers it to Dampus. Passes it to Shanahan. Sundin takes the puck up. Parrish brings it past the blue line.
Waugh has some of the fastest reflexes in the league.
Mike, can you shed some light on that last play?
Waugh uses the glove to wipe away that shot.
Jovanovski sends it in front over to Litz. Yashin breaks up the play. Caberlet carries it over the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Knocked down in front by Waugh. Waugh, what a shot!
He looks like a man whose players are finally doing what he asked them to do.
The replay should give us a better look.
Oh, yeah, these guys are quite a happy group right now.
Eastern goal scored
Elias
unassisted
sends it back to the
by number
defenseman.
9, Pavel.
And he takes a wrist shot. What a save!
Time of goal,
Wow.
3 minutes,
Blocker
20
save.
seconds.
Yager just gets robbed by Waugh. We're going to have a face-off to the right of Waugh. Salani brings the puck up. Naslund sends it up over to Zhebnov. If they have any chance of taking this game, he's got to continue to make stops like that. The Western Conference All-Stars are behind right now, but in general are poised to take the next step. What's your take, Mike? Face-off to the left of Theodore. Gonchar sends it up to the center. Takes the shot. Good save. Theodore just got his glove on the puck. Yager brings the puck up through the zone. Elias carries it past the blue line. Amazing. Wow. Makes the block. Lemieux sends it to the left wing.
No one can argue Patrick Waugh's dominance over the NHL. With an overall win-loss record of 516 and 300, Patrick is the NHL's all-time leader in wins.
Can you walk us through that sequence, Mike?
Waugh uses the blocker for what it was intended, sending the puck away.
Caberlet moves it to Burek, and he is just getting warmed up. Jovanovski passes it off over to Correa. Checked hard by Lidstrom. Ozolinsh sends it over to Yashin. Lindros passes to the defenseman. Ozolinsh takes the puck up through the zone. Iginla sends it to Jovanovski. And he takes a wrist shot. What a save! Caberlet passes it to Yashin. Brings it over the blue line. He takes a snapshot. Blocked out front. Pronger plays it up to the center. Solani passes to Zhamnov. And he takes a wrist shot. Terrific save! Theodore gloves that shot out of the air. Pronger brings the puck through the zone. Elias passes it over to Yager. He gave up his body to make that save. Waugh sends it in front to Blake. Solani brings it over the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. He looks to be on his game tonight. Lidstrom passes it to the right wing. Elias sends it up to the center. Lemieux takes it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. He looks to be in mid-season form with goaltending like that. Sakic slides it over to Iginla. Takes it past the blue line. And he takes the step shot. Blocked out front. Lemieux brings the puck up. Carries it over the blue line. He takes a snapshot. Save by Waugh. Iginla moves it back over to Jovanovski. Passes over to the left wing. Parrish passes it over to the left wing. Correa plays it up to the center. Iginla brings it past the red line. And he takes the snapshot. Past his glove in the leg. And they blow the whistle as the goalie covers up. Well, some teams will beat themselves if you wait long enough, but not the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars don't take too many penalties. So far, they've hardly racked up any minutes.
Face-off to the right of Theodore. Shanahan sends it over to the right wing. He winds up with a shot. Damphousse sends it back to Pronger. Save made by Theodore. And he covers up.
Caberlet came through like an 18-wheeler for that hit.
Daze makes a centering pass over to Shanahan. Deflected out front by Theodore. Yashin carries it past the red line. There's one reason Blake went straight from college to the NHL playoffs. What a save! And the goalie covers up to stop play. Tonight there's been some good, solid defense by Blake.
Blake has great checking abilities. His checks can easily change the momentum of a game.
We're going to have a face-off to the right of Waugh. Modry sends it off to Naslund. Zhamnov sends it to the left wing. They blow the whistle as he covers the puck. Leach sends it up to the center. Lemieux makes a long pass over to Eliash. McGinnis passes over to Zhamnov. Pass to Solani. Leach takes the puck up. He sends it up the center. Gonchar passes it over to the left wing. Yager brings it over the red line. Sends it back to the defenseman. Mike, we're seeing some nice defensive play by Leach.
Leach is a strong checker. When the opposition see him coming, they know to get out of the way.
Correa carries it over the red line. Bure brings the puck up through the zone. Brings it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Lidstrom passes it to Iginla. Sakic sends it to the left wing. He takes a snapshot. He isn't letting the shooter see any daylight behind him at all. He passes it up the center. And he takes a wrist shot. He gave up his body to make that save. Play stops as the goalie covers up.
Looking for you. Please find the nearest courtesy phone.
Theodore has the same curse as every other butterfly-style goalie. He drops too early. He's been working on reacting to the shot rather than trying to guess where it's going to go.
Take it away, Mike.
Theodore is really using the glove well here.
He lets it fly. Nice. Theodore just got his glove on the puck. Theodore sends it to his defenseman. Correa moves it back over to Iginla. Passes it. Oh, it's intercepted. Redden plays it up to the center. Correa just gets robbed by Theodore. And he takes a wrist shot. What a save! Parrish sends it up over to Thornton. Sundin carries it past the blue line. That is the kind of save that will set the tone for his team for the rest of the game. He covers it up. The Eastern Conference All-Stars should be expected to deliver a strong defense like we're seeing tonight, Mike.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars have great defensemen. These guys are the cornerstones of the team.
Face-off to the right of Wah. Vicious check by Eliash. Yager passes it over to the left wing. Naslund makes a long pass over to Solani. Passed back to Zhamnov. He passes back to the defenseman. Gonchar moves it to Eliash. Takes it past the blue line. Lidstrom passes it off to Solani. Jovanovski sends it over to Naslund. And he's checked by Leach. Gonchar sends it over to Eliash. Lidstrom sends it back to Jovanovski. Iginla takes it past the red line. Carries it over the blue line. Yashin sends it up to the center. Lindros brings it past the red line. He was wrong. Wah! Loves that shot out of the air. He passes it off over to Bure. And he takes the snapshot. Great save. Sakic carries it past the red line. Caberlet passes it over to Lindros. Bure brings it over the blue line. Centering pass over to Yashin. Pronger passes over to Sakic. Carries it past the blue line. He passes it back over to Blake. Ozolinch passes it to the right wing. Bure brings it past the blue line, and he takes a wrist shot. With saves like that, it could be a long night for them. Sakic brings it over the red line. Ozulinch passes it to Yager. Takes it past the blue line. That was a hard hit by Shen. The play is broken up by Blake. Daze carries it over the red line. He takes a snapshot. Save by Theodore. Rafalski makes a long pass to Elias. He passes it over to Lemieux. Yager sends it off over to Rafalski. Elias slides it to Lemieux. Rafalski sends it to the left wing. Elias moves it back over to Yager. He centers it over to Lemieux. Those saves are great warm-ups for the regular season. Damphousse passes to Daze. He passes it to the right wing. Elias brings the puck to the zone. Yager brings it over the blue line. Jovanovski plays it up to the center. Daze takes it past the red line. Elias passes it to Lemieux. Carries it over the blue line. It's intercepted. Shanahan sends it up over to Damphousse. Passes over to Daze. He takes the backhand shot. Grabbed out of the air.
The first 10,000 hockey fans at the next home game will receive a souvenir puck. Tickets are still available.
Theodore's .919 save percentage in 1999-2000 tied Ed Belfour and Dominik Hasek for the league lead. He was the NHL's third-ranked goalie with 5 shutouts.
Let's see that again from a different angle.
Theodore reaches the glove out and makes the save.
We've got a face-off to the left of Theodore. Modry moves it over to Solani. And he takes a wrist shot. Great save. I hope he can keep this up for the next 2 periods. And that's a 2-line pass. Mike, I think that this game is showing us the offensive strength of the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars are always an offensive threat. They just have the scoring touch.
Pronger sends it back to the defenseman. Blake passes it over to the left wing. And he takes a wrist shot. If they have any chance of taking this game, he's got to continue to make stops like that. He relays it to Solani. Zhevnov carries it past the blue line. And he is just getting warmed up. Ozulinch passes it off to Yashin. And he takes the step shot. Stop. Wow! Just got his glove on the puck. Oh, my goodness. That happened so fast, I need to see it again.
Plays like that make this a game of inches, Bill.
We're going to have a face-off to the right of Wah. Redden sends it back to Rafalski. Sakic brings the puck up. Correa brings it past the blue line. Save made by Theodore. He covers the puck. Iginla can only shake his head after getting his sure goal taken away by Theodore. Face-off to the right of Theodore. Rafalski sends it to Thornton. Sundin brings it past the red line. Plays it up to the center. Thornton moves it back to Parrish. Intercepted. Great look, but it caught the post before it hit the net. Hey, Mike, take us through the replay.
The puck bounces off the post and harmlessly away.
Face off to the left of Wah. The Eastern Conference All-Stars like to slow down the game and prevent the kind of shootout that some teams like.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars play a great defensive game, but they're going to need their offense to kick in if they want to win.
Yashin centers it to Lindros. And he takes a wrist shot. Lidstrom sends it over to Zhamnov. Blocked out front. The Eastern Conference All-Stars have the advantage right now in this game. Are there any other things our viewers should know about this team? We've got a face-off to the left of Theodore. He takes the shot. Scores! Oh, my goodness. Naslund scores right off the face-off. That should quiet the crowd. A quick snapshot by Naslund.
And folks, the goalie had zero time to react on that one.
Western Conference goal scored by number 18, Marcus Naslund.
And he takes a wrist shot.
Number 13,
Roenick sends it back over to Caberlet.
Time of the goal,
Sends it back to the
13
defenseman.
minutes,
He sends it off to
seconds.
Holik. He looks to be on his game tonight. Roenick passes it to the right wing. It looks like someone has done some work in the offseason. Wah passes it over to Prunger. Iginla carries it past the red line. Lemieux takes the puck up. Takes it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Glove save! Play stops as he covers the puck.
With 137 postseason wins as of the 2002 playoffs, Patrick Waugh is the NHL's all-time leader in playoff victories.
Wah really uses the lumber well on that great stick save. Face off to the left of Wah. Jovanovski passes to Zhamnov. He slides it to Naslund. Salani sends it up to the center. Zhamnov plays it up to the center. Naslund sends it up to the center. He takes a snapshot. He centers the puck. He isn't letting the shooter see any daylight behind him at all. Yashin brings it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Gloved out of the air. And they blow the whistle as the goalie covers up.
Jose Theodore really came into his own last year. He could work on his ability to spring up after a save, especially since he gets caught flopping on the ice. Experience as a top netminder is going to help his consistency.
Theodore redirects the puck with a stick, denying another opportunity. Daze sends it to the left wing. Shanahan brings it over the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. That is the kind of save that will set the tone for his team for the rest of the game. Lemieux sends it over to the right wing. And he takes the snapshot. Save! Wah! Makes the save. Bone-crushing hit by Daze. Elias plays it up to the center. Oh, wow! Loves that shot out of the air. Takes the puck up through the zone. Passes it to the right wing. Yager passes it over to the left wing. Nice save. Wow! Makes the block. Lemieux sends it to the left wing. He gave up his body to make that save. Shanahan carries it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. He made a great save. Yager passes it over to the left wing. And he takes a wrist shot. With saves like that, it could be a long night for them. Daze brings the puck up through the zone. Carries it past the blue line. Gonchar brings the puck through the zone. Bure passes it over to Lindros. It floats past the goalie for the goal.
He's got to be happy with the way his team responded on that goal.
The wrist shot comes so quickly that the goalie can't react fast enough to the shot by Lindros.
Well, I think they found this goalie's weakness, Bill.
Eastern Conference goals.
Ravalski sends it up to the center. And he takes a wrist shot. Knocked down in front by Juan.
Assist to number 9.
Iginla takes it past the red line. He passes it off to Correa. Great save. Hope he can keep this up for the next 2 periods.
Goal, 16 minutes, 5 seconds.
He makes a centering pass. Denied. Theodore just got his glove on the puck.
Patrick has been a solid goaltender for his entire career. He once had 11 straight seasons with 30 or more wins.
Let's take a look at that again.
Wah finds the leg pads easier to block with than skate with.
Carries it over the red line. McGinnis sends it to the left wing. Correa passes to the defenseman. Modry passes it over to the left wing. Sent back to Iginla. Ozelinch sends it to the left wing. Sakic sends it off over to Correa. If they have any chance of taking this game, he's got to continue to make stops like that. McGinnis plays it up to the center. Sundin brings it past the blue line. What a save! Wah slides it to Sakic. He sends it up the center, brings it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot, deflected out front by Theodore. Caberlet passes to Bure. He sends it back to Ozelinch. Brings it past the red line. Solani takes it past the blue line. That save shows he came into camp ready to play this season. Bure carries it past the red line. He plays it back over to Yashin. Man, what a save. Pronger passes it over to Solani. Carries it over the blue line. Great save. Zhevnov breaks up the play. Bounced that one off the pipe. And he covers up. Hey, Mike, show us the play again, will you?
Whoa, the clang of the puck off the post could be heard all the way up here, Bill.
Elias sends it up to the center, takes the puck up. Leach moves it. Oh, it's intercepted. Sakic brings it over the red line. Correa moves it back over to Iginla. Save by Theodore.
A wallet has been found on the promenade.
Theodore was impressive in the last play.
Theodore has the same curse as every other butterfly-style goalie. He drops too early. He's been working on reacting to the shot rather than trying to guess where it's going to go.
This faceoff is left of the goalie. Takes the shot. Leach passes it off over to Gunchard. Yager brings the puck up. He passes it over to Lemieux. And he takes a wrist shot. He looks to be in mid-season form with goaltending like that. Tonight's game shows you that you won't see many costly errors from a team like the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars are good at avoiding the box. They'd rather spend their time out in the ice.
Naslund sends it back to the defenseman. Solani plays it up to the center. The puck was behind him when he gloved it out of mid-air. And the goalie covers up to stop play. Naslund just gets robbed by Theodore. We're going to have a face-off to the right of Theodore. Blake sends it back to Pronger. Moves it back to Solani. Over to the right wing. He passes back to the defenseman.
1 minute remaining in the first period.
He gets knocked off the puck with a check by Coverley. Bure carries it past the blue line. Blake sends it over to Naslund. Zhevnov passes it to the right wing.
Pronger turns him into road pizza, leveling him to the ice. Pronger is a great checker. The opposition always has to be on the lookout for him.
Jovanovski passes to the defenseman. Ozelinch makes a long pass to Yashin. Sakic sends it over to Jovanovski. He takes a snapshot. What a save! Theodore loves that goal!
Goals always make the coach happy, provided they're in his favor, eh, Bill?
The pass hits him right in stride, and a nice one-timer by Correa.
He went top shelf on that one all the way.
Western Conference goal scored by number 9, Paul
Correa sends it back to the defenseman.
Number 12, Jerome Iginla. And to number 19, Joe Sakic. Time of the goal, 19
Elias
minutes,
passes it over to the left
seconds.
wing. Sakic sends it to the left wing. Save made by Theodore. And he takes the snapshot, and he is just getting warmed up. Correa thought there was an easy tally there, but gets stoned by Theodore. Face-off to the right of Theodore. As we take a breather, it's tied at 2. Walk us through the first period stats, Mike.
The Western Conference All-Stars are out shooting them, but are unable to take the lead.
Let's go down to the ice for the drop of the puck. Blake takes it past the red line. Solani passes to the defenseman. Elias passes it to Yager. Carries it over the red line. Lemieux sends it up to the center. Great save! He's taken up where he left off last period. Leach passes to Elias. Solani sends it to his defenseman. Pronger brings it past the red line. Elias brings it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. That was a terrific save by Waugh. Gonchar passes it to Leach. Sends it back to the defenseman. He sends it over to Yager.
Gonchar levels him like he wasn't there.
Sakic sends it off. He taps it in for the goal.
He's got to be happy with the way his team responded on that goal. The goaltender doesn't get down fast enough and gives up the goal right between the legs. And from the side of the net, he somehow gets it past the goalie.
Western Conference goals.
Jovanovski passes it over to the left wing.
Jerome Iginla, assist.
And he takes a wrist shot.
19.
Saved by Theodore. Bure slides it over to Yashin.
Time of goal, 52
He's going to get
seconds.
called for the two-line pass. Iginla is delivering his usual scoring threat tonight, Mike.
Iginla has great hands. His team loves the way he handles the puck.
Caberlet passes to the defenseman. Ozelinch plays it up to the center. And he takes a wrist shot. He is determined to get out of here in regulation. He sends the puck back over to Bure. He slides it over to Ozelinch. Checked hard by Sakic. Yashin brings it past the blue line. Jovanovski passes to Correa. And he's checked by Caberlet. Sakic sends it to the left wing. Pronger sends it up to the center. And he takes a wrist shot. That shot hit the post, and they dodged a bullet there. Bure takes the puck up through the zone. Lindros passes it to Yashin. He managed to sneak that one by him.
Their coach is not happy about that last shift, Bill.
And he shouldn't be, given the result, Mike.
From another angle, we can see how this play is finished. Well, I think they found this goalie's weakness, Bill. Oh, way too much traffic in front of the goalie to stop that one.
Eastern Conference goals.
Gonchar carries it past the red line. That was a terrific save by Waugh.
Assist to number 79.
Waugh looked good on that last save, Mike.
Patrick Waugh wanders from his crease way too much. It usually gets him into trouble, causing him to give up a bad goal. Of course, he's one of the best ever, so maybe he means to do it.
57 seconds.
We're going to have a face-off to the right of Waugh. Vicious check by Elias. Pronger sends it up over to Solani. And he takes a wrist shot past his glove in the leg. They blow the whistle as he covers the puck. Theodore was impressive in the last play, huh, Mike?
Jose Theodore had a tremendous postseason for the Montreal Canadiens in the 2002 playoffs. If he continues to play like that, he'll become one of the premier goalies in the NHL.
Leach passes it off to Lemieux. Jovanovski makes a long pass to Solani. Pass back over to Zemna. What a save! Play stops as the goalie covers up. Hey, Mike, what does the replay show?
You can see on the replay how the puck hits the post and caroms away.
Face-off to the right of Theodore. Damphousse moves it to Shanahan. He centers the pass. He passes it to Jovanovski. Gets it over to the left wing. Theodore sends it in front to Gonchar. He moves it over to Elias. Takes it past the blue line. He passes back to the defenseman. Jovanovski sends it over to Shanahan. Sends it to Damphousse. And he takes a wrist shot. Save by Theodore. Theodore sends it in front over to Gonchar. Correa carries it over the blue line. He must have puck magnets in that glove. Parrish sends it back to the defenseman. Thornton carries it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Save by Waugh. Pronger sends it over to Iginla. Brings it past the blue line. He passes it over to Correa. He passes it back over to Sakic. Blocked out front. Iginla passes it over to the left wing. That shot gets past him, but the goalie's best friend, the post, comes up with the save. Pass to Blake. He sends it back over to Pronger. Iginla passes to Sakic. And he takes a wrist shot. Stopped by Theodore. Theodore passes it to Sundin. Blake passes it over to Solani. Naslund brings it over the blue line. Parrish plays it up to the center. He passes it to the right wing. Sundin sends it over to the right wing. Passes it over to Thornton. Those saves are great warm-ups for the regular season. Passes it over to Parrish.
Can a goalie be too aggressive? Well, Waugh has shown that he can be at times. He comes way out to challenge shooters and can't get back in position fast enough.
Mike, can you shed some light on that last play?
Waugh reaches up with the blocker and pushes the shot away.
And he takes a wrist shot. Lemieux moves it back to Elias. Daze sends it off over to Damphousse. Takes it past the blue line. Sent back to Daze. He plays it back over to McGinnis.
Please be sure to check out our souvenir stands located throughout the arena.
We're going to have a face-off to the right of Theodore. Leach brings the puck up through the zone. Iginla brings the puck through the zone. Elias slides it to Yager. Lemieux passes it to the right wing. That was a terrific save by Waugh. Sends it back to the defenseman. Yager sends it back over to Leach. Blake passes to Iginla. Gonchar moves it back to Leach. It's intercepted. Iginla takes it past the red line. He passes it off to Lidstrom. It's past the goalie. He looks like he had trouble with that shot. Now that was a critical goal away from home. A quick one-timer by Sakic.
Oh, man, he used the goalie like a backboard on that one.
Western Conference goal scored
Carries
by
over the
number
red line.
19, Joe Sakic.
Moves it back to
Assist
Solani.
to number 5, Nicholas Lidstrom. And to number 12, Jerome
Naslund
Iginla.
sends it back
Time of
to
goal,
Shamnok.
5 minutes, 47 seconds.
Solani moves it back over to Jovanovski. Broken up by Bure. That was a hard hit by Ozolinsh. Knocked down with the blocker. Carries it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Knocked away by the blocker. He covers it up. Bure can't believe he didn't score there. What a great save. Face-off to the right of Waugh. He winds up with a shot. McGinnis passes it to Damphus. Redden sends it up to Lindros. Shanahan sends it to his defenseman. Rafalski sends it up to the center. Bure brings it over the red line. He takes a step shot. Short pass over to Lindros. Modry plays it up to the center. Yashin carries it past the blue line. He passes it over to Daze. Damphus brings it past the red line. Bure passes it off over to Yashin. Modry sends it to the left wing. Leach takes the puck up. Lemieux brings it past the blue line. He sends the puck back over to Eliash. McGinnis moves it over to Damphus. And he takes a wrist shot. Saves like that are what's keeping them in this game still. Habibulin sends it to Caberlet. Ozolinsh sends it to Eliash. He passes back to the defenseman. Lemieux sends it back over to Yager. He sends it to Ozolinsh. Brings the puck up. Iginla brings it over the blue line. Eliash sends it up to the center. Yager passes it over to the left wing. That's going to get him a penalty for roughing.
And it looks like they're going to get a power play opportunity off of this one, Bill.
Western penalty to number 4, Rob Blake. 2 minutes for roughing.
Habibulin passes to Gonchar.
7 seconds.
Lemieux carries it past the red line. He passes it to the left wing. Eliash takes it past the red line. Fleury passes it over to Fedorov. He lets the backhand shot go. Grabbed out of the air. Lemieux takes the puck up through the zone. Eliash moves it back over to Gonchar. Leach passes to the defenseman. Yager sends it to his defenseman. Fleury brings the puck up through the zone. Brings the puck through the zone. Passes over to Lemieux. Leach sends it to the left wing. Eliash passes it to Yager.
The Western Conference All-Stars are a quick team. They love to keep an upbeat tempo.
We've got a face-off to the left of Habibulin. And he takes a wrist shot. Habibulin plays it up to the center. Lindros carries it over the red line. Yashin sends it up to the center. And he takes a wrist shot. He relays it to Bure. Bone-crushing hit by Lidstrom. Ozelinch sends it over to the right wing. Bure takes the puck up. Takes it past the blue line. Nolan sends it back over to Sakic. Carries it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. It looks like someone has done some work in the offseason. Penalty over. He covers the puck.
No one can argue Patrick Roy's dominance over the NHL. With an overall win-loss record of 516 and 300, Patrick is the NHL's all-time leader in wins.
The replay should give us a better look.
Roy barely gets a skate on that to stop the shot.
We're going to have a face-off to the right of Wah. Salani sends it in front to Naslund. Brings it past the red line. Parrish carries it past the blue line. Thornton makes a centering pass over to Sundin. Pronger passes it to the right wing. And he takes the snap shot. Salani carries it past the red line. Sends it back to the defenseman. Brings it past the blue line. He sends it off over to Zhamnov. Man, what a save. Redden sends it off to Parrish. Correa sends it back to the defenseman. Iginla brings the puck up. Brings it over the blue line. Passed back to Correa. Gonchar slides it to Lindros. Correa passes over to Iginla. Lindros brings it over the red line. He passes it back to Gonchar. And that's 3! It completes an amazing game. Score a big goal for the home team. Tremendous aim with that wrist shot by Lindros.
And there you see it, Billy. He got just enough of a stick on it to deflect it in.
Eastern Conference goal scored.
Mowbray carries it over the red line. McInnes passes it to Shanahan. And he takes a wrist shot.
Assist
Good
to
save.
number 55.
Habibulin. Blocker save.
Time of the goal, 11 minutes. 20
Conway
seconds.
delivers a strong message about coming into his area of the ice.
Holik takes the puck up through the zone. Zhamnov sends it up over to Naslund. Habibulin passes it off over to Kaberle. He plays it up to the center. Ronan moves it to Kapanen. He slides it over to Ozelinch. Penalty on the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
The upcoming power play could change the outlook of this game, Bill. You know, the commissioner may be interested in that obvious payback penalty.
Eastern
Correa
penalty
brings the puck
to
up through
number
the zone.
97, Jeremy
Blake brings the
Roenick.
puck through the
2
zone.
minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 11 minutes, 52 seconds.
McGinnis sends it to Sakic. Iginla passes to the defenseman. And he takes a wrist shot. Correa sends it over to the right wing. That was a huge save by Habibulin. McGinnis plays it up to the center, takes it past the red line. He sends it back over to Blake. He sends it to Iginla. Centers it over to Correa. What a save by Habibulin. Over to the right wing. Iginla passes it over to the left wing. That was a huge save by Habibulin. McGinnis passes it to the right wing. He takes a snapshot. He slides it over to Sakic. Iginla brings it past the red line. He passes back to the defenseman. McGinnis takes the puck up. He passes it off to Sakic. Blake sends it over to the right wing. Iginla sends it to McGinnis.
Rafalski delivers a crushing check to his victim there. Rafalski is very aggressive. Teams love to have this kind of player around.
Pronger passes over to Solani. The penalty is over, and both teams are at full strength. And he takes a wrist shot. Deflected out front by Habibulin. Leach passes it over to Lindros. Naslund moves it back to Jovanovski. Iginla carries it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. That was a great save. Joseph sends it in front of the net. He passes it to Correa. Sakic passes it to the right wing. That wrist shot got him the goal. The visitors needed a score there. A short wrister by Sakic.
You know, he took advantage of the goalie being out of position and popped her in.
Western Conference goal scored
Ozelinch
by number
brings it over the red
19,
line.
Joe
Zhevno
Sakic.
sends it over to the right wing.
Assist
He moves
12,
it to Solani.
Jerome Iginla. And to number 9, Paul Correa.
What an
Time of
embarrassing goal. He just knocked it in into his
29
own net.
Seconds.
How about from the Sega Sports goal camera? You know, I don't think you get credit for scoring on your own goal in the statistics.
Western goal scored
Blake
by number
takes it past
8,
the red line.
Timu Solani. Time of the goal, 14
Takes it past the
minutes,
blue line.
39
Sent
seconds.
back to Pronger. Naslund sends it to his defenseman. Zhevno sends it to the left wing. He plays it back over to Pronger. Solani plays it up to the center. Save by Habibulin. Solani seems to be playing especially hard on offense, Mike.
Solani has speed that can't be taught. Coaches love that in a player.
Face off to the left of Habibulin. Damphousse passes it over to Shanahan. That stop keeps this game within reach. Rafalski sends it off to Lindros. Bure carries it over the blue line. Knocked out in front with a blocker. Yashin passes it to the right wing. Sends it over to Redden. Shanahan brings the puck up. Damphousse carries it past the blue line. He stoned him. Habibulin slides it to Redden. Damphousse sends it back to the defenseman. And he takes the step shot. Amazing! Habibulin makes the block. Lindros brings it past the blue line. Blake passes it over to the left wing. Shanahan carries it over the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Play stops as he covers the puck. Well, some teams will beat themselves if you wait long enough, but not the Western Conference All-Stars.
The Western Conference All-Stars don't take many penalties. They're a very disciplined team.
We've got a face-off to the left of Habibulin. Yager brings the puck up through the zone. Moves it back to Lemieux. Elias passes over to Gonchar. Salani is playing impressively, Mike. What do you think?
Salani is known for his great hands. He handles the puck like no other.
Modry takes the puck up through the zone. Naslund passes to the defenseman. Salani sends it to his defenseman. Terrific save! Habibulin makes the save. Lemieux brings the puck through the zone. He passes it over to Yager. He sends the puck back over to Leach. That save shows he came into camp ready to play this season. And he takes a wrist shot. What a save! And they blow the whistle as the goalie covers up. Leach can only shake his head after getting his sure goal taken away by Joseph. Face-off to the right of Habibulin. He lets the slap shot go. He gets knocked off the puck with a check by Coverley. And he takes a wrist shot. That save kept his team in the game. Bure carries it past the red line. Lindros passes it to Yashin. Nolan brings it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Oh, and it goes off the post. And he covers up. This faceoff is to the right of the goalkeeper. Thornton brings it over the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Pronger sends it up over to Iginla. Parrish sends it up to the center. Sakic passes it off over to Correa. He passes it back to Iginla. And he takes a wrist shot. Stopped by Habibulin. Blake takes it past the blue line. He takes the slap shot. Correa passes to the defenseman. Gonchar sends it to the left wing. He's trying to keep his team in the game. Parrish brings the puck up. Sundin carries it over the blue line. That was a terrific save by Joseph. Blake moves it over to Sakic. Correa carries it past the blue line. He centers the puck. Save by Habibulin. Leach makes a long pass to Yager. Brings it over the red line. Checked hard by Zhamnov. Lemieux sends it back to Ozolin. And he's checked by Jovanovski. That save preserves their 2-goal advantage. Caberlet plays it up to the center. Lidstrom passes it over to the left wing. Zhamnov takes it past the red line. Yager sends it up to the center. Elias sends it over to the right wing.
1 minute
He sends it up the center. Passed back to Caberlet. Ozolinsh carries it past the red line. Lidstrom moves it back over to Jovanovski. Naslund sends it to Zhamnov. Vicious check by Ozolinsh. And the goalie covers up to stop play. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are trailing. In general, Mike, what does this team need to improve this year? This faceoff is left of the goalie. Bure sends it over to Lindros. Carries it over the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. What a save! Joseph sends it back to the defenseman. Iginla brings the puck up through the zone. Sakic brings it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Stopped by Habibulin. They blow the whistle as he covers the puck.
Caberlet turns him into road pizza, leveling him to the ice.
Face-off to the left of Habibulin. He lets it fly. Hopefully, he can keep making saves like that, and maybe one of his teammates will help him out on the offensive end. Yashin passes to Gonchar. Bure brings it past the red line. Correa can only shake his head after getting his sure goal taken away by Habibulin. As we end two, it's a lead for the Western Conference All-Stars, 6-4. Let's check with Mike for the stats after 2 periods.
The Western Conference All-Stars have the lead, Bill, even though they don't have a power play advantage. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are spending too much time on defense, Bill, as reflected by shots on goal. The Western Conference All-Stars are playing a physical game. It's got their team's momentum high.
Correa passes it over to Iginla. Sakic passes it to the right wing. Pass to Correa. Great save. Bure brings it over the red line. Oh, that goal found the back of the net quickly. Oh, they're exploiting their home ice advantage now. Bure must have raised the goalie's pulse a little, coming down with more guys on his side than there were defenders.
And that's as excited as I've seen this team in a while.
Eastern Conference goal scored by
Sakic
number 9.
sends it over to the right wing. That was a hard hit by Gonchar. Lemieux takes the puck up, brings it over the blue line. He takes a step shot. Looks like someone does not want to see overtime. Iginla passes it to Sakic. Correa plays it up to the center. Glove save! Bulin sends it off over to Gonchar. Elias gets it over to Yager. Passes it over to Lemieux. Ozelinch passes it to the right wing. Yager takes it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Those saves are great warm-ups for the regular season. Lidstrom brings the puck through the zone. Naslund slides it over to Solani. Yashin carries it over the blue line. Glove out of the air. Yager just gets robbed by Joseph. And he takes the snapshot. Bure sends it to his defenseman. Leach takes the puck up through the zone. Gonchar carries it past the red line. Yashin centers it over to Bure. Passes it to Lindros. Passes it to the right wing. He passes it off over to Yashin. He sends it up the middle. Zhebnov passes to Naslund. Gonchar brings it past the red line. Knocked down in front by Joseph. Play stops as the goalie covers up. Yashin just gets robbed by Joseph. Blake passes it over to Correa. He passes it up the center. Elias takes it past the blue line. He made a great save. Pronger sends it up to Iginla. And they go offsides. The Eastern Conference All-Stars have definitely struggled at times. Any thoughts on that one? Passes over to the left wing. Correa brings it past the blue line. He looks to be in mid-season form with goaltending like that. Lemieux carries it past the blue line. Walk out front. Joseph sends it up to the center. Sakic carries it over the red line. Bone-crushing hit by Coverley. Yager passes it off to Lemieux. Sakic brings it over the red line. He sends it back to Correa. Elias plays it up to the center. Lemieux takes it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. He gave up his body to make that save. He covers it up.
The Western Conference All-Stars may not be the quickest team out there, but they're definitely one of the most experienced.
We've got a face-off to the left of Joseph. Dampus brings the puck up. Daze brings it over the blue line. He passes it over to Lidstrom. Lindros sends it to the left wing. Jovanovski passes to the defenseman. Daze carries it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Man, what a save. He gets knocked off the puck with a check by Lidstrom. And he takes a wrist shot. There's a blocker save. Joseph sends it back to the defenseman. Zhebnov moves it over to Naslund. And he takes a wrist shot. Save made by Bulin.
He may have slower reflexes, but I think he can read the plays better now.
Can you walk us through that sequence, Mike?
Joseph is really using the glove well here.
Checked hard by Sundin. And he takes a wrist shot. He's got to continue to make saves like that to keep them in this contest. McGinnis brings it past the red line.
Sundin came through like an 18-wheeler for that hit. Sundin tends to be a little over-aggressive sometimes, but that can lead to many scoring opportunities.
Parrish carries it over the blue line. He sends it to Thornton. If they want to stay in this game, he's going to have to continue to make saves like that. Danfus brings the puck up through the zone. Sent back over to Rafalski. Parrish takes it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Deflected off the blocker. Daze takes the puck up. Ozelinch sends it to Yager. Blake sends it to Shanahan. Vicious check by Coverley. Great save to keep this game close. Abibulin passes to the defenseman. Correa, it's intercepted by Ozelinch. And he takes a wrist shot. It looks like someone has done some work in the offseason. Lemieux sends it back over to Eliash. He covers the puck. Yager just gets robbed by Joseph. We're going to have a face-off to the right of Joseph. Correa takes the puck up through the zone. Sakic passes over to Iginla. And he takes a wrist shot. The puck was behind him when he gloved it out of mid-air. Correa moves it back to Lidstrom. Jovanovski carries it over the red line. Sends it back to the defenseman. Lidstrom passes it to Iginla. Iginla can't believe he didn't score there. What a great save. Gonchar sends it to his defenseman. Leach passes to the defenseman. He takes a snapshot. Save made off the blocker. Bure sends it back to the defenseman. Naslund passes it over to Lidstrom. Gonchar brings it over the red line. Yager brings it past the blue line. Naslund sends it off over to Zhamnov. Passes to Solani. He passes it to the left wing. Naslund sends it back over to McGinnis. That save shows he came into camp ready to play this season. Yager slides it over to Lemieux. Naslund moves it back over to Modry. Solani carries it past the blue line. Centering pass to Zhamnov. Leach passes over to Yager. Sakic sends it back to Blake. Lemieux passes it to Eliash. Brings it over the blue line. Intercepted. Correa sends it up over to Iginla. Takes it past the blue line. And he takes the snap shot. Past his glove in the leg. Ozelinch sends it up to the center. Lemieux brings it past the blue line. Nice. Joseph just got his glove on the puck. Pronger makes a long pass to Iginla. Lindros passes it off over to Ozelinch. He's going to be called for the penalty.
And it looks like they're going to get a power play opportunity off of this one, Bill. Well, I guess he thought getting payback was worth the penalty.
Face-off to the left of Habibulin.
Eastern penalty.
McGinnis
to number 15,
passes to the defenseman.
Caberlet, 2 minutes.
And he takes a wrist shot.
Roughing.
He was
Time of
wrong.
the penalty, 7
Habibulin.
minutes, 25
Blocker save.
seconds.
Blake passes it over to the left wing. Sakic carries it over the blue line. McGinnis passes it to the right wing. Iginla takes it past the red line. He sends it up the center. Sakic sends it to the left wing. Brings the puck to the zone. And he's checked by Rapalski. And he takes a wrist shot. He's coming up big to keep them in the hunt. He relays it over to Iginla. Carries it past the red line. Sakic carries it past the blue line. He takes a snapshot off the post. Blake moves it back over to Correa. Saves like that are what's keeping them in this game still. McGinnis moves it over to Sakic. Brings it over the blue line. McGinnis plays it up to the center. Iginla carries it over the red line. And he takes the snapshot. What a save by Habibulin. Play stops as he covers the puck. We've got a face-off to the left of Habibulin. He takes the shot. Another great shorthanded save. And they blow the whistle as the goalie covers up. Naslund just gets robbed by Habibulin. Pronger sends it to Fedorov. He slides it over to Solani. Pronger brings the puck up. Takes it past the blue line. The penalty has now expired. He lets the slap shot go. That was a hard hit by Jovanovski. Lemieux brings the puck up through the zone. Rapalski sends it over to Holik. Lidstrom passes over to Shanahan. Damphus brings it past the red line. And he takes a wrist shot. Habibulin sends it up to the center. Lemieux brings it over the red line. Joseph sends it in front to Lidstrom. Shanahan plays it up to the center. Daze sends it back to the defenseman. Knocked down with the blocker. As this game is proving, Mike, the team to watch for exciting scoring are the Western Conference All-Stars.
The Western Conference All-Stars are a very offensive-minded team. I hope the other team's defense is ready.
Face-off to the left of Habibulin. Caberlet sends it in front to Bure. Yashin takes it past the red line. Solani takes the puck up. Brings it past the blue line. And he takes a wrist shot. Stopped Bullen loves that shot out of the air. Solani just gets robbed by Bullen. We've got a face-off to the left of Bullen. Leach passes it over to Bure. He takes a snapshot.
Blake delivers a strong message about coming into his area of the ice. Blake can throw off the other team's game plan by constantly throwing his weight around. Other teams hate that.
Blake sends it up to the center. They get caught offsides.
The Western Conference All-Stars' strengths are experience and maturity.
Lemieux sends it back to Gonchar. Elias passes it over to the left wing. Solani moves it back over to Zhamnov. Naslund sends it over to the right wing. That save keeps them down only one goal. And he covers up. Tonight's game shows you that you won't see many costly errors from a team like the Western Conference All-Stars.
The Western Conference All-Stars don't spend much time in the penalty box. They're a disciplined team who don't let their emotions land them in the box.
Gonchar sends it off over to Elias. Yager carries it over the blue line. What a save! Joseph passes it to Jovanovski. He sends it off over to Fedorov. Nolan carries it past the blue line. Elias slides it to Lemieux. He sends it to Yager. It glides toward the goalie. It's in! They're feeding off their fans' energy. The wrist shot comes so quickly that the goalie can't react fast enough to the shot by Yager.
I'll tell you, the ultimate team player always looks to find the open guy instead of forcing a shot. Oh yeah, baby, there's dancing in the streets and on the ice.
Eastern Conference.
Ozolin sends it to the left wing. Yashin passes over to Lindros. Mowbray passes it to Dampus. Shanahan brings it over the blue line. He passes back to the defenseman. Bure carries it past the red line. He takes the step shot. That save keeps him in this game.
Time of the goal.
Lindros passes it over to the left wing.
33 seconds.
Shanahan takes the puck up through the zone. And he takes a wrist shot. He must have puck magnets in that glove. Mike, I'm impressed by the defensive single-mindedness shown by Ozolinch.
Ozolinch can single-handedly change the flow of a game. Being aggressive isn't always bad.
Rafalski brings the puck to the zone. Naslund sends it up to Zhamnov. Bullen passes it off to Rafalski. Zhamnov sends it back over to Jovanovski. Gets it over to the left wing. Naslund passes it to the right wing. Grabbed out of the air. And the goalie covers up to stop play. Solani just gets robbed by Habibulin. This faceoff is left of the goalie. Pronger moves it to Iginla. Sends it back to the defenseman. He passes it up the center. Lemieux brings the puck up, takes it past the blue line. He makes a quick pass to Eliash. He plays it back over to Gonchar. What a huge save! Moves it back over to Yager. That save keeps this game tied up. Iginla brings the puck up through the zone. Carries it over the red line. Correa brings it past the blue line. He makes a centering pass. He plays it up to the center. Leach sends it to Yager. Brings it past the red line. McGinnis moves it back to Modry.
Curtis Joseph's career best goals against average is 2.56. That same season, he won 35 games, which broke the former Toronto Maple Leaf record.
Take it away, Mike.
Joseph denies the shot with a terrific blocker save.
Joseph logged a nice save there, Mike.
Cujo was never drafted. He signed as a free agent with the St. Louis Blues in 1989 after only 1 year of college.
Lindros brings it over the red line. He passes it to the right wing. And he takes a wrist shot. Joseph sends it over to Lidstrom. He sends it up the center. This faceoff is to the right of the goalkeeper. Naslund takes the puck up through the zone. Solani. It gets past the goalie for the goal.
Goals always make the coach happy, provided they're in his favor, eh, Bill?
The goalie couldn't get back across the crease to stop that one-timer by Zhevnov.
Western Conference goal scored by number
Ozolic
13.
passes
Alexei
to Yashin.
Jamno.
Dampus
Assist
sends it back
number 8,
to McGinnis.
Teemu
Carberlet
Solani.
passes it
And
to
number
Lindros.
18, Marcus Naslund.
Yashin
Time of goal,
sends it to his
13
defenseman.
minutes, 48 seconds.
Daze passes to the defenseman. Shanahan takes it past the red line. He takes a snapshot. Oh, and he blocks the shot. Yashin moves it back to Ozolic.
The Western Conference All-Stars love fast-paced games. That's where they feel most at home.
Face off to the left of Habibulin. Blake sends it off to Pronger. He takes the slap shot. Gonchar sends it over to the right wing. Sundin takes the puck up. Thornton carries it over the blue line. He centers it. Score! Goal for the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
You know, the coach looks like he wants to make some major changes. This angle ought to show us some detail on that goal. That's a real skill there, folks, to bounce her off the post and right in. I'll tell you, Billy, you can't stop what you can't see.
Too true, Mike. The defense has to clear the front of the net better.
Eastern Conference goal scorer.
Lidstrom carries it past the red line. He slides it to Naslund. Lemieux sends it to the left wing.
19.
Elias passes it to the right wing. Save! Joseph stops the go-ahead goal. Zhevnov brings the puck up.
Time of the goal.
Naslund carries it past the blue line.
33
And he takes a wrist shot. That save helps them stay alive. Lemieux sends it back over to Elias. He passes it on to Gonchar. Lemieux passes it over to the left wing. Lidstrom plays it up to the center. Naslund carries it over the red line. Yager moves it over to Elias. Lemieux sends it over to the right wing. Jovanovski passes it to Zhamnov. And he takes a wrist shot. Salani sends it up to the center. Bure sends it to the left wing. Yashin plays it up to the center. Lindros passes it to the right wing. And he takes a wrist shot. That save was huge. He sends it up the middle to Bure. Oh, Joseph stops the go-ahead goal. Joseph passes to Solani. And he takes a wrist shot. Great save. He passes it over to Zhemnov. Passes over to the left wing. And he takes the step shot. Salani moves it back over to Naslund. That save keeps him in this game. Brings it past the red line. What a huge save. They blow the whistle as he covers the puck. Habibulin looked good on that last save, Mike.
Habibulin is so hard to beat on his glove side. He can pick the puck out of the air with ease.
It's really important to win the faceoffs now. He winds up with a shot. Elias brings the puck through the zone. Pronger sends it back over to Blake. Yager slides it. Sakic intercepts the pass. Yager passes it over to Lemieux. He moves it over to Elias. Blake moves it back over to Pronger. Correa sends it up to the center. Sakic sends it over to the right wing. Denied. Habibulin stops the go-ahead goal. He takes the backhand shot. Glove save. Iginla plays it up to the center. Sends it. It's intercepted. Correa sends it to his defenseman. Lemieux brings the puck up through the zone. He takes a step shot. Knocked away by the blocker. Play stops as the goalie covers up. Let's see that again from a different angle.
The puck ricochets off the post.
Jovanovski, oh, it's intercepted. Nice save. Joseph stops the go-ahead goal. Joseph was impressive in the last play, huh, Mike?
Joseph is so quick with the glove that it makes it tough to score on him.
Ozelinch sends it up over to Caberlet. That save keeps this game tied up. He covers it up. Winning the faceoff becomes even more crucial at the end of the game. Lindros sends it back to the defenseman. Puts it in. The Eastern Conference All-Stars capture the lead in the third.
Oh, yeah, it's always good to get your crowd behind you. Now, from the net cam, we're going to see exactly what the goalie saw. You know, as a defensive player, you can't allow your goalie to get screened like that.
Eastern Conference goal scorer.
Brings it over the red line.
79.
And he takes a wrist shot. What a save! Joseph just got his glove on the puck. Lidstrom takes the puck up.
To number 88.
Solani passes to the defenseman. Jovanovski carries it past the red line.
Time of goal, 17 minutes, 46
Zhevnok
seconds.
centers it to Naslund. Those saves are great warm-ups for the regular season. Lindros passes it off over to Yashin. And he takes a wrist shot. Deflected out front by Joseph. Pronger passes it to the right wing. Iginla sends it to Korea.
In 13 years in the NHL, Cujo has posted a losing record only twice. Both times, he missed out by 2 wins.
Oh, my goodness. That happened so fast, I need to see it again.
Joseph uses the glove to wipe away that shot.
We've got a face-off to the left of Joseph. Leach sends it back to Gonchar. Brings it over the blue line. Pronger moves it to Sakic. Takes it past the blue line, protecting the 1-goal lead. Habibulin sends it up to the center. Elias brings the puck up. Pass over to Yager. And he takes a wrist shot. He looks to be in mid-season form with goaltending like that. Pronger sends it over to Sakic. Iginla brings it past the blue
1
line.
minute remaining in the third period.
Gonchar passes it to Yager. Off the blocker. Brings the puck up through the zone. Carries it over the blue line. He's got to continue to make saves like that to keep them in this contest. Iginla carries it over the red line. Leach sends it over to the right wing. Gonchar sends it in front of the net. He passes it over to Yager. Blake sends it to his defenseman. Brings the puck through the zone. Lemieux passes to Yager. Iginla plays it up to the center. Sakic moves it back over to Blake. Correa sends it off over to Iginla. Sakic passes it over to the left wing. Elias passes it over to Yager. He takes the slap shot. The Eastern Conference All-Stars come out ahead here, 8-7. Mike, let's hear your thoughts on this game.
Even the bruises don't seem to hurt as much when you win after coming back in a game.
For Mike Weiss, I'm Bill Peterson. Good night from the Office Depot Center.